Welcome to the better half of Korea, the southern part, for the Korean Grand Prix here at the Yonggam International Circuit, the 5th Korean Grand Prix and the first Grand Prix here in South Korea, of course, since 2013. It's the only track on the OC calendar not to feature on the real-life 2019 calendar as a result of Singapore being cancelled due to issues with the circuit. The track located in Yonggam, which is 400 kilometers south from South Korea's capital city, Seoul. The track, of course, 55 laps will be doing around the circuit, a circuit length of 5.615 kilometers, 18 corners, a number of chances to overtake. The lap record set by Joseph Willows back in 2011, or I should say his brother, James Willows in 2011, a 138.748. So that is the lap record here. Previous 4 winners here have included Alex Southgate winning, and of course that race got the votes for the best race in South Korea in 2010, Volker winning in 2011 and 2012, and of course Brunello winning here the last time we were in Korea in 2013. And of course all three of these drivers, I should say, are not racing in the OC anymore, so that means we are now guaranteed to have a new winner here at the Korea GP. Here are the practice results. It was a Ferrari 1-2 in practice. Joseph Willows comfortably ahead of Laura Chung by 0.4 of a second, Gal in 3rd, and 2 Mercedes, Palino Tomaselli in 6th. So that was practice. And now this is the starting grid for the Korean Grand Prix, as Armako takes another pole position for Mercedes ahead of Nicolas Gao in 2nd position. On row 2 of the grid we have the 2 Francos, Franco Gamba and Franco Lopez, 3rd and 4th for Red Bull and Mercedes respectively. Row 3 we have the 2 Ferraris, Laura Chung, the last time winner out at Italy, and Joseph Willows alongside her. On row 4 of the grid we have Ronald Moitin for Racing Point and Evan Byrne for Renault. Here's row 4 of the grid. On row 5 we have Jay McKenzie for Renault and Paolino Tomaselli for McLaren. That is 9th and 10th. On row 6, 11th and 12th we have Jared Fosbury, a good qualifying performance by him, narrowly missing out on Q3, ahead of Matteo Catalan for Toro Rosso. On row 7 we have George Roque in the Racing Point with David Kubok alongside him in the Toro Rosso. Chris Chatfield 15th position, and De Rossa 16th for Haas and McLaren. That is the 8th row of the grid. On the 9th row of the grid we have Andrea Federi, 17th for Alfa Romeo, and Gabriel Gomez 18th for Alfa Romeo as well. On row 10 we have the 2 Williams of Lin Campana and Felix Santana separated by just 0.06 of a second, so that was of course very close. And on the last row of the grid we have Maxime Titkov and Rosetta Martinez for Manor, and there's a bit more of a gap there, 0.8 between those two. Team news for this week is that Chris Chatfield will leave Haas and will join the renamed AlphaTauri for next season, and well deserved for Chatfield. Certainly had a good season, outperformed his teammate Jared Fosbury throughout, and deservedly so. I think he should have been called again a few races back, or one of the first ones, but he's now been confirmed, and it will be a dry race as well, no chance of rain. So 55 laps, Armakar on pole position for the return of the Korean Grand Prix after 6 seasons away, as the 5 lights are now coming on here in Korea. And we're underway, and who's going to get the jump into the first corner? It looks like Carl's got a good launch and is set to take the lead into the first corner. 2 Red Bulls side by side with each other, Gao alongside Franco Gamba, and I think Gamba may have snuck into 2nd place, as he? Yes, and he does get past Nicolas Gao into 2nd, and Gao might be under pressure from Willis behind, but I think he's still right behind his teammate, so he might make a move into the first corner. There's a yellow flag out at the first corner, so something has happened. David Kupok is out of the race, and there's Gal, of course, getting back past his teammate. Oh, there's even more contact, and Byrne has been involved. I can't see if Mackenzie was involved. Moishin has lost both his front and his rear wing. So let's go back to the very start. So let's see what happened. So we're on board with Rosetta Martinez starting in last and coming up towards the first corner. What happened to Martinez? And he went into the back of the Manor, and then I think caused what happened in front of him. So here's the onboard view from Kupok. Who did he get hit by? And it was the Williams. It was a slight touch, but it was enough for him to get damage. And Federi, I think, he was the car that was out on the right hand side there, so he got hit as well. I think it must have been by the manner of Titkov. So Federi is out as well. Meanwhile, Robert with Moitin, of course, this was the replay of him in that position. So we'll see what happened to him coming into turn 1. I think he went, sorry, not turn 1, turn 3. So Moitin, did he just go into the back of the Renault? And yes, he did. Right into the back of him. Meanwhile, Jared Fosbury tried to go past and goes into the Renault there, and that's eliminated. I think that was Evan Byrne out of the race there, so that's unfortunate for him. Meanwhile, we're looking now on board from Gabriel Gomez, who started near the back of the grid, And as he looking at him on board, he was down 17th coming into the first corner, and he managed to get through a few cars there. Actually, gets up to 14th position there, so that's a good move there by Gomez. And so coming onto the front straight, or back straight I should say, goes past the McLaren there of De Rosa very easily, and it looks like he's going to power past Matteo Catalan as well very quickly too. So he does go past him, and then of course coming into turn 3 was where all the chaos happened in front of him, so it looks like he might gain a few more positions as well. So let's see on board. So he's behind the McLaren of Tomaselli, and all the chaos is happening in front of him. Of course, Berners then gets hit by the Haas of Jared Fosbury, and there it was right there. I don't believe actually Fosbury may have got any damage from that, I don't think. So Gomez manages to sneak past Tomaselli and try go around the outside of Moitu, but he's stuck behind the Renault here. And so then Tomaselli goes past him and the Renault, and he gets nearly overtaken by another couple of cars. And he does kind of get overtaken by Catalan there, he's on his outside. And then finally Gomez, does he go for it? No, Catalan's still there. And Gomez finally gets past and moves up to 10th position, and that will be 9th because Moitin's got damage as well. So Gomez has made a pretty good start, you have to say. Up 8 positions really from where he was at the back of the grid. Meanwhile, we're looking now at Joseph Willows, who is on the back of Franco Gamma. This is for P3, going into turn 3. And Willows trying to make a move on the inside. Oh god, and well, that's not gone very well, and that's great news there for Franco Lopez. And unfortunately for Franco Gamma and Willows, they are both out of the race, and they are lucky for the rest of the drivers behind that wheel is just not on the racing line. It's very close, but it's just out of reach. But I can't believe what just happened there for Joseph Willows. He'll be kicking himself for that, and so it is eliminating himself and Franco Gamma out of the race. And so the incident between those two will be put under investigation. So wow, Franco Lopez in third on his own at the moment, way off Miguel Scal in second position at this moment in time, but he just needs to get finish high up, and he'll stretch his lead ahead of Willows. Meanwhile, this is Roque moving up to 9th place, passing the Toro Rosso there, Catalan and Chatfield. Might have a good enough run to overtake Catalan on the straight, and he does so. He goes past Catalan and moves up into 10th position there. Catalan does have a lot of fuel, so it looks like he is going to be going for the one-stop race, it seems. But looking at it, look at all the positions. So Gomez actually moved up 11 positions, so he started on 18th, so he had moved up 9 positions. Unbelievable start. Meanwhile, this is the battle of the lead. Gal sets the fastest lap, and into the first corner. Is he going to make it stick? It's very close, but Gal does make it through and up into into P1. And so that is exactly what Miguel Scal needs. And Gal, if he gets himself a win, he's still just about in title contention. If he gets himself a win here, he'll thrust himself right into it. There, as you can see, was a little bit of contact there between Carr and Gal. So looking on board at the front of Carr's car, and there was the contact right there. I was lucky it wasn't anymore. It slid actually Carr a little bit wide. If it hadn't, then they could have caught the wheels, but fortunately they didn't, and so no harm done. But Gal, of course, now takes the lead of this race. Meanwhile, Jared Fosbury, as you have to say, what a start from him as well, up to P5. As now we're looking at Gabriel Gomez, who is passing the McLaren of Tomaselli on the straight. The power of that car, unbelievable, and he goes steaming past Tomaselli there. Great move by the Brazilian, but what a start he's made, and he's taking full advantage of it. So now I'll have to try and overtake Jared Fosbury in front of him as we're looking through the rest of the order. So at the moment, Gal, of course, is the one who's leading, and fuel-wise, it's fairly light. Probably be maybe a two stop, probably verging on a 3. Fosbury, meanwhile, with his fuel, he'll probably be doing a 2, most likely. But he's now under pressure from the Alfa Romeo behind of Gomez, who, as I said, has made a great start. And so he's going to look to try and overtake. Of course, on this part of the track, it's not an overtaking opportunity. You have to wait until the first corner slash turn 2 and then turn 3, and that's generally actually about the amount of overtaking opportunities you have here. But yeah, that's about it. So now Gomez right behind. Of course, Thomas said he's still sticking behind too, as they come around the left-hander, coming through the long right, then through turn 18. Now this is going to be Gomez's best opportunity to try and make a move into the first corner. And Gomez is already alongside the Haas of Fosbury, going past him into the first corner. This is going to be a very easy move. and Gomez makes it up into P5. So good job there. And now Tomaselli is behind and is going to make the move past possibly. He's got enough straight line speed. He's alongside the Haas, but the Haas is edging, as you can see, back ahead, and moves now, and stays in the 6th position. But Tomaselli needs to get the move done now if he wants to keep up with Gabriel Gomez. Gal at the moment getting away from Amarkar in 2nd position, but meanwhile this is Gomez, who looks to be absolutely steamrolling past the Ferrari of Laura Chung here, and Gomez trying to get up to 4th position as they come into turn 3, but Chung is holding on, and she does for now, but it looks like Chung, who seems to be quite slow, he's way off 10 seconds, so I guess, and there's Tomaselli, who has managed to get through up into 6th position, so he's past Fosbury, or has he? And well, Fosbury has spun himself out, making contact with Tomaselli there. That's not what Fosbury needed. He had such a good start, and he's kind of ruined it there with that spin. He's still in the points, but he's now down to 9th position. You don't really see many drivers making moves into turn 4 there, but Fosbury was in the slipstream, and he was going to go for it on the inside. It was never really on, so I think that's all self-inflicted by Fosbury there. And there was the contact once again, and he goes wide, and actually coming close to rejoining in front of De Rosa there. And so now we're looking at the Alfa Romeo of Gomez passing Chung, it looks like, into the first corner, and yep, Gomez is through. So Gomez up from 18th on the grid to 4th. That's an unbelievable start. What can you really say? It's an unbelievable start by Gabriel Gomez, and I mean, could he get the podium? I think it might be a bit of a stretch, but certainly he's in with a chance of P4 here today, and certainly a top 5 anyhow. Chung seems to be really struggling at this moment in time on this strategy, and now is being overtaken into the first corner by Tomaselli. And is Tomaselli going to make it through? Not quite. And meanwhile, I think there's a battle behind between De Rosa and Roque, and Roque makes it past De Rosa for 7th position. Tomaselli trying to get alongside Chung, but failing. Now as they come in towards turn 3, and is he going to go for it now? And actually, yes, it was a late move, but he's done it. So good job there by Tomaselli. Now Chung is going to be under pressure from both the Racing Point and the other McLaren behind him. But Chung, as you can see, yep, definitely on the one-stop strategy, and that is why she is struggling so much at this moment in time, and it doesn't look like it is getting much better for her, really. So now going to be under pressure from throughout this whole sector, but of course they can't overtake here. There's no overtaking opportunities unless, of course, you make a mistake, which of course is entirely possible. But as we look on board with Roque coming behind Chung, and again just following her through, but I want to get past quickly if he wants to keep up with De Rosa in front, and Tomaselli in front, sorry, is De Rosa there behind. Fosbury has dropped quite a bit off actually with that spin he had, dropped 6 seconds away. It was down to 5.9 now because Chung is holding these guys up. But again, it was just I suppose it was a move that was not necessarily needed to be done by Fosbury, and it's cost him very much. And so yeah, he's now he's still with the points, he's still ahead of Chatfield, but it still could have been a whole lot better for him. As meanwhile, Roque now on the inside of Chung in the first corner, and yep, through up past Chung into 6th position, and now De Rosa right behind has the opportunity to make it past Chung as well. Not going to quite have the straight line speed here, but he's going to have a go probably into turn 3. If he gets in the situation, he's going to have a go. He's going to go for it, and fortunately no contact. I was wondering if they were going to see a repeat of the incident before, as Gomez gets a little slide on there in 4th position on his own, very much on his own. Tomaselli is a little bit behind there. Lopez is quite a bit in front at the moment in time, and you can see gets a lock up there, and yeah, manages to do a nice little drift through the corner there, as we see another replay of him sliding through there. It was a good bit of control actually, you have to say, by Gabriel Gomez, and so he carries on only in 4th place. Meanwhile, Amarkar is now coming into the pits for his his first pit stop from 2nd place, I should say. But meanwhile, Laura Chung is now down to 8th position. She is not going to be very happy with how this race has gone, with the strategy that Ferrari have put her on. Car, meanwhile, looks to be he's about, how far is he off? About 5 seconds off Gal at this moment in time. Meanwhile, Lopez actually is quite a bit behind, 17 seconds. So I don't know what strategy Lopez is on. He might be on a 2 or maybe a 1, but meanwhile, Gal actually stuck behind in a little bit of traffic at the moment. He's stuck behind the manor here. I believe that is of Maxim Titkov, and so he's about to lap him on lap 12, heading on to lap 13. So Gal right behind the manor is going to now overtake him onto the pit straight, and there we go. He does so as we now look at our car coming into the pits. Meanwhile, the incident between Franco Gamba and Jules was concluded to be a racing incident. So I guess, yeah, I think that's fair enough, really, particularly around that corner. I don't think they can really have many arguments about that necessarily. So yep, I think that's a fair review of that incident. So car comes in, a quick stop as well. I think that was 5.7 seconds, so a pretty quick stop there from the Mercedes pit crew. So as now car comes out of the pits, and into the car, looks like in P4, behind Gabriel Gomez, who now, from starting on 18th on the grid, is now running in P3. So that is just some performance so far from Gomez, and he looks to be on the 2 stop as well, as Gal is going to be pitting this lap. So let's see when he comes in what fuel that they put into his car. Now I didn't catch how much fuel they put into Armar's car, but we're going to find out when Nicolas Gal comes in how much fuel they put into his car. So the gap to Lopez about 18 seconds, and I wonder if he might come out ahead of Gomez. I think it'd be touch and go. He might just about come behind, I reckon, possibly. But as we look at Gal coming through the final corner now, and we'll now go to the right and make his way into the pits, and here we go. So let's have a look and see how much fuel they put into Gal's car. So he didn't have a lot left, could have gone probably one more lap, but that would have been it. So how much fuel do they put in? And 18, so not a lot. So it looks like it probably could be, I mean, it could go to the end, but it could be a 3, I don't know. That's touch and go, if that will be a 3 stop or not. So Gal will come out the pits, and I'm interested to see if he does come out ahead of Gomez or not. It will probably be actually quite close, I think. Gomez has come across the line, and Gal, I think he may have actually just come out in front. Meanwhile, George Roque in the Racing Point now coming into the pits for his first stop of the race. So Roque had a pretty good start, managed to avoid all the chaos on the first lap, and obviously managed to not get any damage, unlike his teammate. So Roque now comes in, will change all 4 tyres, and let's see where he comes out on the circuit. 5.9 second stop, so good stop there from the Sport Payser Racing Point pit crew. So Roque now comes out of the pits, and he comes out, looks like Ian, I think it was P12. Gomez is coming in the pits this lap, and we just saw Jay McKenzie coming into the pits as well. On the same time, he was one of the guys that got damage early on. So now on board with Gomez, set to come for his next pit stop. And so on board with him, had an unbelievable start to this race so far. You can say, yeah, that's the main thing you could say, really. Managing to get up into the top 3 on the podium from 18th on the grid at the start is just exactly what you need to do, really. It's just the best way of recovering positions, by making them all up yourself. So as Gomez now coming through to the end of the lap, and now heading towards the pits. So again, as I've already said, recovering from 18th to 3rd. Obviously that's not going to be his position, but managing to get up there from the back of the grid and show some encouraging pace as well is definitely the way you want to go about things. Of course, Gomez not yet confirmed for next season, and obviously is not sure where he's going to go at this moment in time. But Gomez does his pit stop, and fuel wise that definitely looks like it is going to be fuel for a 2-stop strategy. Meanwhile, we're looking at George Roque in the Racing Point, just about to pass Felix Sontag, it looks like, or if he can get close enough, pass him into the first corner. So as we look at Roque now behind Sontag in the Williams. And so as we look at them coming onto the back straight, is Roke going to be close enough to make a move into turn 3? And we're going to find out very soon. And Roke in the slipstream of the Williams. And is he going to make the move? And note Sontag defends. And there's a yellow flag out, and Jay McKenzie is out of the race. And unfortunately for him, I don't know if that's a mechanical failure or not, but it doesn't look good for him, that is for sure.
Okay, we're ready for you.
So we are now about to find out and see how McKenzie retired from this race. So, and it was an accident as well, as you could see from the graphic just a minute ago, and coming around the corner, and yeah, just goes wide and goes into the wall. I don't think I've ever seen anyone go off at that corner before, so that is a very uncharacteristic error there from McKenzie, and something he's not going to look back too fondly on, you would have to say. So here we're looking at the replay once again. He was a fair bit off Martinez in front of him, and he had it enough fuel. Probably, I don't know if he was going to pit 2 more times or just once more. It would have been probably close, but yeah, looking on board from McKenzie, just makes a lock up, goes wide, and just steers directly into the barrier on the right hand side, and there we go, loses the wheel. That's McKenzie's race over. And now meanwhile, Miguel Escal at the moment in second position behind Lopez, who at the moment is in first and has not yet pitted. So Lopez is definitely going to come into this with a chance of winning this race, and Gal needs to catch up, because I don't know if Gal's going to be pitting once more again or not. We will find out. Meanwhile, we're looking at Roke battling with Felix Sontag in the Williams, and Roke passes Sontag for P9 going into the first corner and moves up another position there. So Amarkar in third, kind of having a bit of a lonely race really. I don't think he's really in contention for the win here, but he certainly has a good chance of getting the podium from this race. So look at Gal, the gap now down to, I think it was 5.6, it was about nearly 8 seconds before, so the gap is certainly coming down. Meanwhile, this is Roland Motion on the inside of the manor of Martinez, going into the first corner, and he's through up into P13. That's another position on lap 22. Lopez will be coming out to lap these guys soon, and I couldn't quite catch how much fuel he still had left, but he's going to be about the same as probably Gal. So Lopez definitely has a shot of winning this race now. I wasn't sure if he was in with it, but on the one side his pace is actually seemingly quite good. Meanwhile, Paulino Tomaselli comes in for his first stop of the race in the Husky Chocolate Orange McLaren. So as he comes in, and I imagine this is going to be a 2-stop, well, it'd be ridiculous to do a 1. So Tomaselli comes in, change all 4 tyres. Let's see how quick the stop will be, and it is yep, going to be a 2-stop as I suspected. Going to pit quite late on, but he's going to be very quick at the end. 6.9 second stop, fairly quick, but we've seen stops quicker than that, 5.9s. But Tomaselli comes out the circuit. He's behind Gomez in the Alfa Romeo, and now we look at the Williams of Felix Sontag coming into the pits. And Sontag himself has had a decent race. He's kept himself out of trouble, and there's not really much more you can ask for from him, really. Been around the points. I'm not sure he's going to quite get the points. He's, I think, probably just hanging on the edge of getting them at this moment in time. But as Sontag comes in, as Lopez now laps Martinez, Gal is not far behind. So Gal is going to be probably in the next 2 laps, I reckon, going to be right on the back of Franco Lopez. So this could be an interesting battle, because it could ultimately be the battle for the win of the race. So we're going to see. So Sontag comes out down in P15, comes out. He's ahead of obviously his teammate. And so at the moment there's Roku's on the back of Matteo Catalan in the Toro Rosso, soon to be renamed AlphaTauri for next season, or Tauri, however you want to say it. But yeah, pit call as well actually for De Rosso, who at the moment is P4, so he'll relinquish that. So where I think he'll come out, I'm pretty sure behind his teammate Tomaselli, I think. Meanwhile, Roke all over the back of Catalan, who I don't believe is actually pitted either. He's one of the number of drivers who still has yet to pit from this race. But Roke all over the back of the Toro Rosso, coming through the last couple of corners, and if Roke's close enough, he could make a move into the first corner. Now Roke in the slipstream of Catalan, and now in towards turn 1. Catalan doesn't really put up much for defence. Roke on the inside, and Roke's going to go for it and make the move for P8. So Catalan down to P9, and yep, he's still got a lot of laps to do before he pits, so it looks like he's definitely going to be going for the 1 stop. Meanwhile, this is Miguel Escal going past the traffic here, of Rosetta Martinez. And so, yep, Martinez being lapped by Gal. So it's Gal coming towards the final corner now, charging after the Mercedes of Franco Lopez as he comes down the front straight. So heading towards the first corner, as we're looking at car there on its own. De Rossi, obviously, as we already said before, set to come into the pits for his first stop of the race. So obviously Roku's now got past Gal, and I'll be interested to see actually where De Rossi does come out onto the circuit. I think it will be probably around about where Tomaselli and Roke is. Maybe even behind, maybe a bit much of an ask, but anywho. So as we look now at De Rossi coming into the pits, and so he's obviously doing 2-stop, and so as he comes out onto the circuit, 7 seconds, and where is he going to come out? So he's obviously down to P5, Gomez across the line, P6. Would he come out ahead of Tomaselli? The answer is, I don't think so. I think Tomaselli, yep, he's just gone past there, so he does come out, as I suspected, behind Tomaselli, but in front, crucially, of George Roke. Meanwhile, we look at the two manners. There's Renaud Moichin has got a problem, and Renaud Moichin's race is over, and it's a mechanical failure. As you can see, as you could see, he was definitely going a lot slower than he should have been and pulled off. So it is a mechanical failure for the Hungarian, and it was a brake problem for the Hungarian that caused him to retire from this race. So unfortunately, his recovery drive to get something from this race is now over. So as we look on board, and it happened just as he came into turn 3, and that was the problem. And then a few corners later, unfortunately, the problem was too terminal, and he had to retire. So as we look now at the two manners coming up towards the first corner, the two manners battling. This is Titkov trying to pass Martinez, and yep, I think he's done it, and he's up into 12th position. A good move there by the Russian. So Martinez down to P13. Felix Sontok will be closing up to those guys and overtaking them too. The moment Gomez again just behind Laura Chung once again, who I still don't believe actually Chung has pitted yet this race. Meanwhile, up front, Lopez is pitting, and this will be his first stop, and I'll be interested to see if he does go to the end or not. This will be very interesting to see. But yeah, we're going to find out very shortly if Lopez is going to do the one stop, and of course Gal will be pitting once more as well. Well, actually, I'm not sure he could be pitting once more, but I don't know. I'm just really fascinated to see how this one goes. But meanwhile, we're looking at Gomez, who's closing up to the back of Chung, as you can see. But Lopez heading towards the pits. The gap is coming down. It's now less than 2 seconds. The gap between Gal and Lopez. Car again way off, 14 seconds off the lead. He'll take second when Lopez goes into the pits. So here we go. The $1 million question is going to be: is Lopez going to go to the end, or is he going to pit once more? So Lopez now comes in, and so there we go. He's into the pits and changing all 4 tyres he does, and yes, Lopez is going to go to the end. So there we are. A slow stop though, actually, 8.3 seconds, but that is going to be very interesting, because when Gal comes in, I'm still not sure if he's going to go to the end or not. But, well, if he does go to the end, Gal, then it will be a race on, because Gal could still easily overcut Lopez. Because I'm pretty sure Gal didn't have that much fuel left from what I remember. Meanwhile, Gomez on the back of Laura Chung, who, as I said, I don't believe has yet pitted. And at the moment she's in 4th, but she's just got no pace, already 53 seconds off of the race lead, and set to be overtaken by Gomez, who's still going to pit once more. So so I'm just very interested to see. I want to see what Gal's fuel is, to see if Gal will be pitting once or twice more. But I'm pretty sure his fuel was not a lot. So I think he'll be coming in the next 2 or 3 laps or so. And if he does, I mean, that still could be enough for him to pit and go to the end. So as we look at Martinez, I think the man has got a problem, is he, or is it just the blue flag that has come out there? It's a pick, also he's got 5.5, so I believe that could have been a problem. But actually, speak of the devil, Gal has pitted. So does Gal go to the end, or does he pit once more? Is the big question. But Martinez does have a mechanical failure, I think, so he's going to pit now. But as I said, Gal is in the pit, so I would love if we could swap to him and see what he's done. So Tikoff's in as well, so that's not good news for Martinez. He's going to be held up as Tikoff is already in. So that's not going to be good news for Manor. Gal, of course, has come out in second position. Does he come out ahead of Lopez, though? Pit exit is there. Where is Lopez? I'm not sure, but we're looking at a much more important battle, or I say battle, we're looking at the Manor of Martinez being held up in the pits. Meanwhile, Gomez is on the back of Laura Chung, and I think Gal actually did come out ahead of Lopez, actually, so, but I said I don't know if he's going to the end or not. That is the big problem. But as we look at Gomez, who tried to get past Chung there into the first corner, but failed to do so, Martinez is now finally able to change the tyres and get the problem fixed. So a 26.5 second stop, just a little bit slow, that one. But as I said, if Gal doesn't have to go to the end, no, he is pitting once more. Okay, so that is interesting. So, well, the important thing is though for Gal, he has come out ahead of Lopez, so he really needs to get his fade on and get himself a pit stop ahead. I mean, I think he does have the pace. I'm pretty sure he has the fastest lap as well. So it's not over yet. We could still see a battle towards the end, but this could be very, very interesting. But Gal is really going to go for it on this stint as we look now at Armar Carr, who comes into the pits for his final stop, maybe? Well, I don't know his final stop. I can't remember if he's pitted or not, but Carr comes in, so will he go to the end or not? We're now on lap 30 of this race, and nope, he is going to pit once more, so yep, it's looking like it's going to be a solid third place, a consolidatory third place for him. Meanwhile, Gomez once again all over the back of Laura Chung, and speaking of all over the back, the two McLarens are battling each other here, or between De Rosa and Tomaselli, so I wonder what's going to happen there. They're all just closing up to the back of Chung, because she's very, very slow at this moment in time, as Gomez is now on the back of Chung, coming down the front straight, and this is surely going to be a very simple move into the first corner. And meanwhile, behind the two McLarens side by side as well, Gomez is through, and De Rosa, I think, is through up into 6th place, so he's passed Tomaselli into turn 1, and I think he might even be in the slipstream of Chung here, so could he get two positions, or he's not quite close up. I think he's just about in the slipstream, but it's not going to be enough to make the move into the next corner. But De Rosa moves up into 6th position here, so good move there by the Polish driver, battling with his teammate. So Chung, as I said, has still got a number of laps until she pits, so she'll be pretty quick at the end, but I think, to be honest, the damage has already been done, really, because she'll be pitting probably about 4 or 5 laps, about probably lap 35. I think she'll probably pit lap 35, 36, but it's not going to do anything. Meanwhile, actually, Tomaselli's on the back of De Rosa yet again, so he might try and get back the position 6th here. De Rosa not giving him much room into the first corner, and that could be bad news, but fortunately no contact is done, but that means they lose ground to Chung in front. They need to stop battling with each other and focus on trying to get Chung if they want to finish in front of her, so as they head towards turn 3. So this was Tomaselli again trying the move on the inside of De Rosa into the first corner, and just wasn't quite on, and there was very nearly contact there. They nearly caught wheels. So De Rosa now on the back of Chung as they head towards turn 4, and it's not a corner you see much overtaking on, as Tikoff has spun, and Tikoff has gone around, and that's a very awkward place because they're coming round Chung, Tomaselli and De Rosa now, and oh no! And wow, Tikoff's car has been cut in half, or the back end has been taken off it, and De Rosa has got damage, so he's going to have to bid again. Tomaselli has got away with it, he's got no damage, but oh dear, Maxi Tikoff out of the race, and wow, we need to see the replay of that again, but it was Tikoff that lost the back end. He lost it all by himself, and in the worst possible place as well. Did what Gomez did, unfortunately couldn't control it, and then unfortunately right in the path of the battle between Chung, De Rosa and Tomaselli. So Chung actually managed to go round, avoid it actually, so she was very lucky to get away with that. She actually chose the right direction to go in. Unfortunately, De Rosa, being right behind, had nowhere to go and just couldn't react quick enough. I mean, she could have turned to the left, but by then it was just too late, and then hits the car and damages his front wing. So you really got a feel for De Rosa, through no fault of his own, gets unfortunately, well, any good chance of a high, kind of a mid top 10 finish has gone out the window. Still has a chance of the point, but he is going to be fuming at the manner that it's happened in. No pun intended. So, yeah, Titkoff spinning there, as we saw on the replay, on his own, and then, of course, coming around the corner, about 5 seconds later, come the 3 cars, and there it is. So Chung, as I said, she managed to do the right thing and go around the outside, but unfortunately De Rosa just had nowhere to go. And Tomaselli actually managed to, fortunately, somehow get away. I don't know if he hit De Rosa or not, but well, regardless, I don't think he actually got any damage from that. So we're looking on board from Tomaselli's point of view, coming through. And no, he actually didn't hit De Rosa at all. Made a slight bit of contact there, but Tomaselli is the lucky one out of that one. He's going to gain a couple of positions now that Chung goes into the pits, and actually Gomez is in the pits as well. So, yeah, Gomez comes in and will be had an unbelievably solid race. Chung, of course, comes in for her first and only stop of the race. So Tomaselli has been released, but he'll be pitting once more. Gomez, of course, will be going to the end. You know, it hadn't before the last race really had a particularly great season, Gomez, but really in the last couple of races has just suddenly performed. I think he knows that his seat is on the line, and if he wants to get a seat for next season, he knows he needs to perform. So Chung comes out, and there is De Rosa coming in to change his front wing. Of course, he'll be going to the end as well, so it kind of makes sense. But again, just be very, very unhappy with the way that it has happened. So, as we look at Matteo Catalan now coming in to the pits for his final stop. Well, I say his final stop, his first and only stop of the race. So Lopez at the moment, the gap to Gal is 18 seconds. So Lopez will be going to the end. So Gal's, I've just actually realised Gal has absolutely streaked away out front. Also, Lopez just needs to get to the end, but Gal has streaked away, and he's done exactly what he needed to do. So when he pits, there definitely is going to be a battle, because Gal's going to be so much quicker at the end. And speak of the devil yet again, Gal comes in with 15 laps to go. So Lopez will come out in front, but with 15 laps, much fresher tyres, Gal has got the win, I suppose you could say, in his grasp. It's his perfect chance to get another victory, and of course he's still within a shout of title contention, Gal. Let's not catch him out. And of course, with Joseph Willers out of the race, he'll gain on Willers in the championship as well. So he's got a lot on the line here, Gal. So as he comes out of the pits, and so here we go. Gal comes out, and here we're looking at Omar Carr coming in for his final stop. He's not going to be any threat to the top two. So as Carr comes out the pits, he'll be in P3. Meanwhile, George Roque comes in for his final stop of the race. Been a solid race by Roque, you have to say. Recovered good positions, kept himself out of trouble, made overtakes when he has needed to. Come out actually, I think about P9. I think he'll come out ahead of Jared Fosbury. Be behind De Rosa, and I don't think behind Catalan actually, because he did pass Catalan earlier on in the race. So we will see. So as Roque comes out of the pits, and Catalan's come across the lines, Catalan is actually going to be ahead of Roque actually, but Roque could easily catch him and pass him to the end. There's only 13 laps left. Meanwhile, Tomaselli, with 10 laps to go, now comes in for his final stop of the race in P4. But obviously he'll give that up to Gomez, who at the moment is going to finish in the top 4. It's going to be his best result of the season. As Tomaselli comes in, they change all 4 tyres. Going to be a pretty quick stop here, light fuel. So Tomaselli is going to be very quickly at 4.7 seconds. Now that was quick from the McLaren team there. I'm not sure what the record is, but yeah, that is very, very quick. So where does Tomaselli come out on the circuit? He will come out. Will he come out ahead of Chung or not? The answer is, I think Chung had crossed the line. There's the Williams there, and Tomaselli has crucially come out ahead of Laura Chung, and that is very important. But Chung needs to get Tomaselli now if he wants any hope of finishing ahead of him. And Chung, I think, is just about in the slipstream of Tomaselli, but I don't think he's going to be able to make them. She's going to be able to make the move. And yeah, so I think Tomaselli can now get away. Well, after this lap when he warms up his tyres, but I'm not sure if they'll be able to catch Gomez in front. But well, Tomaselli, I think the gap is quite large, and with 9 laps to go, it might be a bit of a tough ask, but you never know. But Laura Chung definitely will be frustrated at the fact that she's been jumped now by a McLaren as well. Well, by the Alpha, I suppose, was not great, but now by the McLaren as well on the one stop. It really has not worked out well for Laura Chung on the one stop. Meanwhile, Lopez in first position, Gao in the moment in second, but he's going to be closing up to the back of Lopez. There's only 4 seconds the gap as they come around. Oh no! Well, that gap's going to go up a lot now, and Miguel Gal has just thrown away his chance of winning this race, and that has just handed the race to Lopez on a plate. And he, oh, what on earth happened there? And he just went into the back of the Manor there. I don't know if he just did, maybe the Manor braked a little bit earlier than he expected. He just went into the back of him. And I think maybe the Manor of Martinez was trying to let him through. He just went unusually slow there. But, oh, Miguel Gal was going to be fuming with that. The win was his. If he passed Lopez, that was. But now that has just gifted the win to Franco Lopez. Because he is so far out front. And no, De Rossa's got a problem again. And how many times have we seen this season that De Rossa, in a good position, has got a car failure? This time he was running in 7th. The question is, can he actually get back to the pits? He's got a long way to go, though. He's got the whole of the lap to do, basically. So, but De Rossi, you really got to feel for him. He's definitely been a very unlucky driver this season, as Gao has now come into the pits to change his front wing. And, yeah, so he'll be pitting. And, of course, I forget as well, Armor Car is going to take second place. So at the moment, Mercedes from this race are going to get a 1-2 unless Gao can close up and pass Car. The gap, Car went past quite a while ago. I think the gap was about over 10 seconds. So it's entirely possible he could close up, but I'm not sure exactly. But as we're looking on board with De Rossi, can he make it to the pits? He's got around most of the lap, but he's still got the last sector to do if he wants to get anything out of this race. And it's going to be so painful for him. He's just about coming around the last part of the circuit, the street part of it, as I like to call it. And no, he's going very slowly now, and De Rossa is out confirmed. And you really got to feel for the guy, you really do. Just totally not deserved at all. And De Rossa is out of the Korean Grand Prix. So that hands, I think that was 7th to Catalan. Roque now moves up to 8th. Fosbury going to get some points, actually. Looks like going to move up to 9th position, and it was an electrical failure for De Rossa. And so we're looking on board for when the electric failure first started. So it looks like it was just after he passed the pit lane. So he was on the front straight, and yet look at that. That is just unbelievably cruel. That is. But we are now on the final lap of this race, and for Franco Lopez, it has been the race of dreams for him, really. And it wasn't sure if it was going to work for him on the one stop, and I suppose you could say he was lucky because Gal was, well, I say Gal was quick. He's just set the fastest lap of the race, so Gal is angry, to say the least. But, I mean, you could say Gal probably would have overtaken him at the end, but you never know. But Lopez, he was much quicker than his teammate Carr, and, well, Carr was on a different strategy, and Lopez was just so much quicker than him, so Lopez would definitely have finished in second at the very least, Carr in third, but Lopez is going to win, and crucially, he's going to extend his championship lead, and with Joseph Willows out of the race as well, it is just all falling into place, and there's not that many rounds to go as well, so at this moment in time, Lopez is building up a lead to try and make sure that it cannot be taken away from him, but Lopez, the gap, 20 seconds, almost a pit stop ahead of his teammate Carr. I mean, people will say it's domination, but of course it's not the case. But Franco Lopez, number one pit stop, and he's going to extend the lead at the top of the standings as he comes round the final corner for the 55th and the final time, and Franco Lopez is going to win to the return of the South Korean Grand Prix. Victory for the Argentinian, and he extends his lead at the top of the standings. So as we look at the rest of the cars going across the line, Mateo Catalan gets 7th on a one stop. He'll be happy with that. Roque didn't actually manage to pass him in the end, was only 8th. Armor Car was set to take P2. He'll be pretty chuffed with that one, really. So as he comes round the final corner and will take second position. Gal was about 7 seconds away, so yeah, we're going to need a few more laps for him to catch up. Campana down in P12. Nicholas Gal now set to come across the line. In P3, he'll be fuming at the fact that his victory that was in his grasp was taken away from him. Jared Fosbury, I think, just came across the line in 9th, but Chris Chatfield as well gets another points finish 10th, and that is his 5th points finish in a row, so good consistency there from Chris Chatfield. And for Gabriel Gomez, what a performance from 18th on the grid to get 4th, and an unbelievable start. And from there it just went up and up, had unbelievable pace, and thoroughly deserved to finish in the top 4 in this race. So Gomez set to come across the line for his best result of the season, and P5 Paulina Tomaselli actually was not that far away from actually Gomez at the end, so that's his personal best as well. Laura Chung, 6th position, the one stop for her just didn't work whatsoever, and so yeah, there we go. Chung across the line in 7th, Felix Sontag will just miss out on the points in 11th position, and there we go. Race is over, so we'll now take a look at the race results for the driver standings and of course the constructor standings. So Franco Lewis winning ahead of Armacor in 2nd, Miklas Gau in 3rd, and also taking the extra point for fastest lap. Gabriel Gomez 4th, Paulina Tomaselli 5th, Laura Chung 6th, Mateo Catalan 7th, Georgia 8th, Jared Fosbury 9th, and Chris Chatfield 10th, completing the points. Felix Sontag in 11th, and then of course the final driver to finish the race was actually Dean Capano. So only 12 cars finishing actually in this race. A lot of retirements. The list is as follows: De Rossa, Martinez, Titkoff, Roland-Moichin, McKenzie, Franco Gamba, Willows, Byrne, Federi, and David Kupop. So that was the race result, and now we will see the drivers and constructors standing. And this is going to be very interesting indeed. So Lopez, you can see, look at the gap. It is now over 60 points, 65 points to be exact. So it is a big gap now to Joseph Wilson in second. Miklas Gau only 6 points behind Willows in 2nd position. Laura Chung still has a shout of getting it, but she needs to improve her form. Armacor moving way ahead of Franco Gamba in the 5th position. Tomaselli 7th, Catalan in 8th. Looking at the rest of the order, Gabriel Gomez moving ahead of his teammate Federi into 12th with that 4th place finish. Roke managing to get ahead of Chatfield there as well. As we look at the rest of the order, McKenzie down to 16th. It's been a miserable season for him. Kupok, Sontag, Fosbury, Campana, Titkoff, and as I said, Martinez the only driver yet to score a point this season. In the constructors, Mercedes moving further clear of Ferrari in this race. Red Bull in 3rd position, on kind of still could catch up to Ferrari. McLaren kind of on their own in 4th, Racing Point in 5th, Alfa Romeo moving up into 6th with Toro Rosso 7th and Renault down to 8th, Haas in 9th, Williams in 10th, and Manor in 11th position. So there we go. And of course the driver of the day was given to Gabriel Gomez, thoroughly deserved for an unbelievable 4th place finish. So there we go, that was the South Korean Grand Prix, and it was a great return to Korea, and let's hope it does stay on the calendar for the future. We will see you for the next round, the Russian Grand Prix at the Sochi International Circuit. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to check out all our links, check out our Twitter, over here, join our Discord, and we'll see you for the next round in Russia. Goodbye.